Hey guys, I'm Lopez from Kettlebell Welcome to my living room. Now, I'm here in my living room because this is the spot that I actually train. If we've never met before, I've got 5 kids and a very busy lifestyle running a few businesses and just being busy in general with kids' activities and stuff like that. So my ability to get to the gym is very limited, so I train at home with kettlebells, and I actually do it either in here in my living room or I go upstairs to my bedroom and train up there. Now, Adam asked me to film a video for you guys to talk a little bit about my style of kettlebell training and how I approach things. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. If we take a look at hardstyle kettlebell training, now for me, being an RKC and an SFG level 2 kettlebell instructor, we focus a lot on tension and strength. And that will differ from what you may see in the AKC or with soft style kettlebell training, in that you really are focusing, or my understanding is that you're focusing on getting as many numbers as you can. For example, for AKC or for GS, for kettlebell sport, you want to do as many repetitions as you possibly can within a given time frame, which is great for that, I guess, for those intents and purposes. But what I've found when I've done my research before I got kettlebell certified was that the hardstyle was a lot more conducive to what my goals were, which were to living a healthy lifestyle, being able to stay strong, and really focusing on the base or the foundation of what I believe is what all fitness goals should be based on, which is strength. And so when we practice hardstyle kettlebell training, we focus a lot on tension and maximizing tension to be able to lift the weight or to be able to move weight or our body in space. So if that makes any sense, hopefully it does. If not, then I'll show you kind of what I mean. If I step back here, I've got a 24 kilogram kettlebell, and what you'll see in most circles, or what you'll see a lot of people when they first attempt to lift a kettlebell or press a kettlebell overhead, is they'll focus mainly on pushing the bell up and just driving that bell as best they can, using as many muscles as they can, which is fine and good. So the typical press initially would look something like this. Now, pressing the kettlebell up overhead is great if you do it like that. You're using as many muscles as you can, primarily your deltoids. But if we're looking at hardstyle kettlebell training and maximizing tension, what we want to think about is the kettlebell as being part of our body. And so we're not so much lifting the kettlebell as we are pushing our body away from the kettlebell. What that means is that we have to generate tension from the ground all the way up. So if I'm cleaning the kettlebell, then I am focusing in on rooting myself into the ground. So I'm pushing my heels into the ground. I'm focusing on contracting my quads and pulling my kneecaps up into my hips. We're focusing on contracting our glutes and squeezing as tight as we can, almost to the point where we've got a forward pelvic tilt. After that, we're focusing on bracing our abs as if somebody's about to punch us in the stomach. And more importantly, especially with a press, we're focusing on pulling our shoulders down and back so that we're actively engaging our lat. Now, what does that all mean, and how does that relate to how I press the bell initially? Well, if you think about really focusing on tension, then you're really pushing and driving that bell away from your body, almost as if you're doing a one-arm handstand push-up. Think about planting your feet into the ground and really basing or rooting yourself into the ground, and everything from this point down is one big pillar. And if there's any leakage or any imbalance or any instability in the pillar, i.e. if, say for example, I don't clench my glutes, or if I don't contract my quads, then we have leakage of tension and therefore leakage of strength. And so what we want to try to do is we really want to try to practice staying as tense as we can as we're driving that kettlebell up. Now, the beauty about practicing tension in this sense is that you're using every single muscle in your body and focusing on, I guess, moving the implement, or focusing on complete tension throughout the entire body. This, in fact, will make you stronger, and you should see a great carryover into your ability to either lift that kettlebell a few more times or lifting a heavier kettlebell. Now this is a 24 kilogram kettlebell, and if you saw the difference, or if you'll notice the difference, I'm gonna press this out now with my left arm, focusing on tension, and you should see a difference in my body and how smoothly the kettlebell goes up. So just for you out there, I'm right-handed, so I'm a right-hand dominant. We're gonna press it with my left hand, which I'm not as strong with. And maybe you can see the difference. We'll see how it goes. So I'm on a bit of an angle here so that you can see exactly how I line up. So I don't know if you can tell the difference or not, but I felt a lot more stable when I changed my approach of pushing my body away from the bell than I did from really trying to push the bell up and completely have it disconnected from the rest of my body. I know it's a little bit frou-frou, and I know it sounds a little bit out there, but if you really think about strength and training with kettlebells as being a skill or an art, more so than just working out, we really want to focus on practicing our skill with the kettlebell, practicing strength and tension when we're lifting the kettlebell, and you'll see so many more returns than you would if you were just going through the motions or trying to work out. So think about it that way. If you take anything away from this video, is to focus on your kettlebell training as an art and as practice, as opposed to working out, which means you're never going to train to failure, which means you're not training to chase reps, and which means that you are really focusing on tension and maximizing tension throughout your entire body. That is the foundation of any type of training, whether you want to put on muscle, whether you want endurance, whether you really want to burn a lot of fat or a ton of fat, you've got to have that foundation of strength and tension first. So I'm Chris Lopez from Kettlebell Workouts.com. I'm an SFG level 2 instructor, and in my living room, just showing you how we differ in terms of hardstyle versus soft style and how we use tension in our training. I'll see you in the next video for a few technique trips.